What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be sharing my story on domestic violence. So, when I was 19, I met this guy. We really hit it off. He was funny, he was outgoing, smart. I mean, everything was going good for a while. Long story short, we ended up moving in together. His mom lived in Kentucky and she was hardly ever home, and she needed somebody to take care of the house and take care of her dogs while she was away. So she offered for us to move down there and basically just take care of the house. So that's what we did. We lived in Ohio at this time, so we moved from Ohio to Kentucky. So we got down there and we both got jobs, and we had a couple of friends. They were mutual friends of both of ours. They were married or in a relationship. So I was able to be friends with the girl, and he was able to be friends with the guy. Now, anything beyond that, it was like I couldn't have friends unless he was okay with the friend. So we had maybe like 2 or 3 friends at this point. So things really started going downhill after that. We started arguing a lot, mainly about the house being clean. I was the only one who was responsible for doing the dishes and cleaning the kitchen and doing laundry and things like that. And when they weren't done, he would yell at me and call me lazy and stuff like that, and say stuff like it was my responsibility and yada yada yada, even though we both had jobs. So it just was a very toxic relationship. Neither of us were happy. So my friend had an apartment, and she offered for me to come and stay with her. So I took her up on it one day, and I went there and stayed with her for a couple of days. And then my ex-boyfriend at the time was texting me, and he just kept apologizing and saying that things would change and yada yada yada, and offered to cook me dinner that night and to talk about stuff. So I decided that I would go and have dinner and talk to him about it. So we came to an agreement that I would stay in his mother's guest bedroom. I would have my own room in the house, and that we would slowly work on the issues that we were having in our relationship. So maybe a week went by, and nothing changed. He was still calling me names. He was still getting very frustrated over very tiny, small things, and we just kept arguing all the time. So I decided that I no longer wanted to be in a relationship, and that we were going to have to figure something out, that it was over between us and things like that. So then we both went to work and we came home and yada yada yada. Well, we have mutual friends, like I said before. I don't want to say their names, but 2 of these friends, we had plans it was their anniversary, and they were going to go out and celebrate. So they invited me to come with them. So me and my 2 girlfriends and one of the girls' husbands went out to a bar, and we were drinking, and then we went to a strip club afterwards. Now, while I had these plans, my boyfriend or ex-boyfriend at the time had plans to go out with one of his friends. So I had my plans with my friends, and he had his plans with his friends, or his friend, on the same night. So I went out and he went out. While we were at the strip club, he shows up there, and he is beyond upset that I'm at the strip club, and he's calling me a whore and a slut and accusing me of dancing with all these people and all of this stuff. So he ends up leaving, And then me and my friends that I went there with ended up getting into an argument, and just a whole like blow up thing happens. Well, long story short, I ended up making it home. It's probably around 3 a.m., 3:30, around this time. Uh, the garage door is open, and he is passed out in a chair in the garage. So I wake him up and I take him to his room, and I go into my room. I open the door and I turn on the light, and every single thing in my room is gone. My blankets, my pillows, all of my clothes, cash that I had saved, it was all gone. Everything was gone. It turns out that he burned all of it. So I go into his room and I open the door and I say, "Hey, where's all my stuff? What did you do with it?" And he mumbles something, and I knew he was drunk, so I just closed the door and I walk into the kitchen, and he comes out of the other door in the bedroom, and we make contact, and he throws me down on the ground, and just starts kicking me and just telling me that it's my fault, that I was at the strip club and I shouldn't have been there, and that I was a whore, and that I'm dancing all over these people, and just saying all this stuff. So eventually I get up and I try to go grab the phone, like the telephone line to the house, and it's disconnected. I can't get a hold of anyone. So I run out of the garage and I go across the street to the neighbor's house, and I'm like beating on the door, and it's like 3:30 in the morning and no one is answering. So I come back to the house and I sit down in the garage, just kind of hoping that he will cool off and I'll be able to go to sleep, and it will just be another toxic night. Well, while I'm sitting in the garage, he walks out with an Amp energy drink, and he pours the entire drink just all over me. He pours the Amp drink all over me. I'm sticky and I'm soaked in this drink. He walks back inside and he comes out with a check, which I'm a server, so I don't make checks. The check was like $10. He rips it up and he threw it at me and he says, "That's all you're worth, bitch," and just proceeds to talk down to me. And me not thinking at the time, said under my breath to him, "It was only $10, dumbass." And when he heard that, he walked back toward me and started punching me in the face. He punched me maybe 2 or 3 times. By the third time, I felt my eye pop, and I could just feel the blood just gushing down my face, down my arm, just all over me. So I ran out. I just screamed at the top of my lungs, "Stop!" And I ran out of the garage, and luckily we were only like 2 blocks away from a hospital. So I was able to walk to the hospital from our house. And I walk in the hospital, and they immediately take me back to a room. And like 2 seconds after I'm in the room, there's 2 cops there who are trying to get my story to tell them what happened. That's one thing that I will never forget about the whole experience, is the cop that took my story, like that took the report, and the way that he handled the entire situation. I'll just never forget it, and I will be forever thankful to him for that. But after that, they got me in touch with a domestic violence shelter. So I was on the phone with them for a while, explaining what happened, and after the hospital did everything that they needed to do, the cops took me to the shelter, and we started the intake process. Now, so during the intake process, they ask you, basically, you're interrogated all over again. They ask you what happened. They take pictures of everything, of your body, any physical damages. that you have. I had 9 stitches in my face. I had a swollen eye. It was black and blue. I had bruises all over my body. And I weighed probably like 105 pounds at the time. I was very skinny. I just was not healthy at all. And once I started to heal, a couple weeks went by and I started to gain weight and the bruises went away and the swelling went down. I kept seeing like a spot in my eye, like blurred vision, or like things were just distorted. I couldn't see clearly. So I went to the eye doctor and found out that I have a choroidal rupture, and I have 2 of those actually. But only one of them affects my vision, and it's a permanent thing, so I will never see 20/20 vision again. When I was in that relationship, I felt stuck. I felt like that was going to be my life forever, and I was never going to get out of it. Just depressed, in a deep depression, and I was never going to get to live out my dreams. And I hope that my story inspires people to know that they can get out. You can have a better life. You can move on from a toxic situation. You don't have to stay in it forever. That does not have to be your life forever. I've been happy for the past 3 years. I've got my CNA license. I work at a retirement home, and it's a job that I've wanted for a long time. It's something that I thought that I was never going to be able to do, that no relationship was going to allow for me to do that. But here I am. I'm doing it, and I hope that anyone out there that's in this situation, or if you know anyone that's in this situation, just all you can do is be there for them, help them in any way that you can. And if you are the person in this relationship, just listen to yourself. Just listen to your gut. Do what you think is best for yourself in that situation, but just know that it can get better. It does not have to be like this for you forever. And I hope that you find happiness, and I hope that you find peace, and I hope that this video helps literally anyone. So thank you so much for watching.